Sir Henry Rider Haggard was a British civil servant and author. He came to South Africa in 1875 and became Special Assistant to Commissioner there. It was the time of the formation of the British colony in South Africa. Young Haggard came to Africa during this period and began to see and understand Africa from one end to the other. He wandered during this period and reached a small town on the border of Zimbabwe. The local people called this town Majaji. This town and the surrounding area was ruled by a mysterious woman. People used to call her the Rain Queen in their language. People believed that when the Rain Queen came out of her house and danced, it would start raining in the whole area. The Rain Queen only left her home once a year and never met anyone else. She meets the man of her choice once in a lifetime to become the next Rain Queen. From this one encounter, a girl was born from her womb. She raised this girl and taught her the magic of rain. When the girl became young, the old queen died and a new queen took her place. Haggard somehow got to the Rain Queen. He met her. He heard her story and found out that the Rain Queen is of a Vagan lineage. Her name is Aisha. She is an Arab and she claims she is reborn after 2000 years. Her lover will also meet her soon after and they will both leave the world once again with the birth of a new Rain Queen. Haggard heard this story and it left a deep impression on his heart and mind. After completing the job, he returned to London and started a new career as a writer. He wrote a novel called She in 1887 and caused a stir among English scholars. She was the most widely read novel of its time. Haggard then wrote a second episode titled The Return of Aisha. This novel also became immensely popular like the previous novel. I had read these two novels in my youth. They were translated into Urdu as Asha and Asha Ki Wapsi. Those novels were so influential and glorious that even after 40 years, I could not escape their influence. Dr. Kashif Mustafa came to Pakistan years ago and he mentioned Majajis and Rain Queen in conversation. And I jumped back into both of Haggard's novels and I decided, God willing, I will also go to Majajis and Rain Queen. I will also watch the dance. We left for Majajis on the morning of Saturday the 10th of September. It is part of the Limpopo province of South Africa and borders Zimbabwe. It takes 4 hours to reach Majajis from Johannesburg. We reached Majaji at noon via the highway. Roads and rest areas in South Africa are as modern and well developed as in Europe. While traveling on the highway, it does not feel for a moment that we are roaming in Africa. This is the perfection of all whites. The inhabitants of Holland came to South Africa in 1652. After them, the Germans arrived, and later the British landlords also reached South Africa. They also brought Indian residents with them, thus South Africa was divided into 4 nationalities. The black residents were local, and the Muslims of Malaysia called them infidels. The lords of Holland, Germany and Great Britain are called Boer, a Dutch word meaning landowner. Indian immigrants were brought to lay railway lines. They worked at railway stations, hence their name, Coolie. And from the union of all these, a new race was born and this race came to be called colored. The whites ruled South Africa for 350 years. This region is rich in natural resources. The largest gold and platinum mines in the world were in South Africa. There was a time when 70% of the world's gold was extracted from here, while it still accounts for 70% of platinum. Second, the land is very fertile, so the whites built farms here covering millions of acres. It is surrounded on 3 sides by 2 oceans, the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So it is also the owner of the longest coastal line and the gateway to Africa. The whites also looted and rebuilt it so that today it does not look inferior to Europe in any way. Its atmosphere and infrastructure is European, but it is 16 times cheaper than the Western world. It is one of the few countries in the world whose white population returned to their countries after the revolution and then returned to South Africa within a few years. These people are businessmen and farmers, and they are the backbone of this country even today. We reached Majaji's at 1:30 in the afternoon through the highway built by the whites. It was a mysterious place in the far corner of the world. The Rain Queen's palace is located on a hill and is hidden behind a curtain of bamboo. The valley is inhabited by the followers of Queen. The last queen died in 2005. Her daughter is now a minor and in training, so there has not been a Queen's dance for the past 17 years. Locals claimed that the Rain Queen would come out in really dry weather, smoke local herbs, recite spells and start dancing. In a few moments the clouds hover over the entire valley and then the terrible rain starts. When we asked them for proof, they directed us to the Cycad forest. At the very end of the hill, there was indeed the world's largest collection of cycads. It is considered one of the most valuable plants in the world. 1 meter of tree is sold for $100,000 and 1 seed is sold for $100. Cycad seeds and plants cannot be taken out of Majajis. As we were leaving the forest, our vehicle was searched by the police. This plant is a cure for many diseases. It requires abundant rain and water, whereas the Majajis region is dry and arid, so the presence of cycads could not be possible. But there was the world's largest collection. Local people said that our queen dances a few hundred meters away from it. However, there is a miraculous rain here every year, and this plant is the result of this miraculous rain. Local people respect their queen immensely. It seemed that these people were under the influence of some deep magic and could not bear to hear anything negative about the queen. It was also learned that every president of South Africa must appear at the Rain Queen's door to be greeted after taking the oath. Nelson Mandela was also among them. He visited Majaji several times during his presidency and had long dialogues with the Queen. The Queen's pilgrims are scattered all over Africa. They come from far and wide to visit her and see the rain with their eyes open. Can the Rain Queen really bring rain, or is it just a myth, a hoax like countless other illusions? I couldn't stand there and make the decision, but people believe it anyway. And they claim observation. And my lifelong experience is that anything is possible in the world. Everything is possible in this universe. And if people believe in something, habit or tradition, then we should accept it. We should not doubt their belief. If the world respects our worship and beliefs, then we should also respect the beliefs, traditions and worship of others. We tried to enter the Rain Queen premises, but the management did not allow us. Spent that night in Zanin. It is a small hill town, clean, and tourists come here for waterfalls, wildlife and trekking. Around the city are white farmhouses. Greenery, fields and gardens are scattered far and wide. The whites of South Africa have only one demand: their own wine, their own farmhouse and private life. They do not allow the government to enter their borders. They tell the government clearly, I will give you as much production as you want from me, you can take as much tax as you want, just let me live my life, let me work. However, the government does not interfere in the personal life. They do farming and live a happy life in their farmhouse with their animals and family. There were thousands of farmhouses on hundreds of acres in Zanin. There were about 1,000 Pakistanis in the city. When we reached the restaurant of an Indian Gujarati Muslim in search of halal food, we met two brothers of DG Khan. They are living happily in the last corner of the world. They work all day and listen to Imran Khan's speeches in the evening. He kindly complained that you should not oppose our Khan, and I agreed to his advice with my hand on my chest. That evening was good. It was the edge of South Africa, it was hot and there were sounds of animals in the air. And Imran Khan's phrases echoed in our ears. "Oh, I won't leave." And we fell asleep. If you want to read, listen and see more travelogues and articles, then subscribe to our YouTube channel Zigzag News. Zigzag News, explore literature.